The halls of the labs here at NRL are literally adorned with their scientific discoveries from over the years. Today, we're going to actually meet with some of the researchers who are doing the hard work pushing quantum information systems and their technologies forward. Let's see what's going on. My first stop was with Dr. Adam Black, a research physicist working to solve the challenges in atomic interferometry at the Optical Sciences Division at NRL.
Okay, so this is the laboratory where we are setting up atom interferometry experiments. And so what we're seeing here is both on the camera, you can see these atom beam flashing on and off. This is a photodiode signal. It's measuring essentially the same thing. And so yes, this is a very sensitive measurement of acceleration and rotation, and also it's sensitive to just the vibrations in the room. So I can just scramble the phase just by tapping on the table like that.
I'm pretty sure I just watched somebody jiggle an atom.
This can be used, we're hoping, as a very sensitive gyroscope and accelerometer.
It was pretty cool to see the atoms getting jiggy with it. But I wanted to understand the practical application of these experiments.
There are situations in which our ability to access GPS is sort of limited, right? You don't want to surface and get a GPS fix any more than you have to. So GPS is very easy to jam. It doesn't take very much power. It can also be spoofed. That's kind of scary. If you can send an inaccurate GPS signal to somebody else's GPS-based navigation receiver, then you can tell them they're in a place where they are not, and that's also a real threat. So independent ways of navigating without GPS are sort of really important today, and will only grow in importance as time goes on and these threats are developed further.
Real-world quantum applications. Now we're talking.
These things do have application. They're not just cool to think about and mind-broadening. They're actually, have applications in the real world and can help people.
Leaving Dr. Black to his work, I met up with his colleague, Dr. Sam Carter, to ask the most important question of all. Can you build me an Ant-Man suit?
No, afraid not.
I was crushed.
I have not seen anything in my experience that relates shrinking things to quantum mechanics.
He was unwilling to share with me his top secret research into quantum shrinking technology. I settled for a stroll through his lab, and boy was I not disappointed.
We do some fairly basic characterization, actually, of some of the quantum dot samples that we study. So a lot of what we do involves shining lasers onto the sample and then kind of looking at what comes off. This is where we cool the samples down to quite low temperatures, to about 4 Kelvin. If you look in here, and there are some quantum dot samples right inside there. And so,
wow.
The laser is sort of bouncing along all these mirrors, and then it goes down to the sample, goes under there where you have a microscope objective right here that allows you to get very high magnification to look at single quantum dots.
Why do you think it's important that we continue to invest in quantum technology?
I would say all research involves going down blind alleys, and sometimes it doesn't lead anywhere. But what's clear is if you don't do this kind of research, you won't make progress, you won't advance technologically. So there's some who say, who kind of call it quantum 1.0 and quantum 2.0. That quantum 1.0 would be things we're all pretty familiar with, things like lasers, things like magnetic resonance imaging, or even atomic clocks. And those have had such a big impact on our society. Now we're sort of moving towards this quantum 2.0 that's maybe taking a more full advantage of quantum mechanics. That technological progress is going to happen, and we sort of have to decide, are we going to be a part of that or not? Certainly our competitors, our adversaries, are going down that road, and I think it's in our best interest to keep doing the research, keep learning, and it will almost certainly have an impact in some way in our lives. So this is, like I said, this is sort of one of the first steps in just kind of seeing what kind of sample we have, and then we have even more sophisticated things that we can do from there.
science. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that we had done science, I was ready for more. That's when I met Dr. Dan Gunlicki, whose team works in partnership with IBM in the world of quantum computing.
Quantum computing is numerical computation using quantum physics. Today, we can perform computations that cannot be performed on a classical computer in the same amount of time. So this is a concept known as quantum supremacy, and that is just an illustration of the power quantum computing has.
Obviously, there's lots of applications for this. What does this mean for the fleet and for the Department of Defense as a whole?
So we have performed research that could lead to better anti-corrosion additives. The corrosion process relies on quantum physics, yet we can see the effect of it on the macroscopic scale in the form of rust. That's where the quantum computer comes in, because to be able to target these reactions, we need to understand better how the ions and the water behave at a microscopic level. What we could do is to develop additives that target these chemical reactions. And the Department of the Navy spends billions every year in maintenance costs. So obviously, if we can reduce the rate of corrosion in some environments only a little bit, that can quickly make a difference.
I wanted to know what the fight against corrosion looked like firsthand, so I made my way down to Norfolk. Hello! We're here on a ship in Norfolk. Sorry about that, folks. It's loud and it's hot here. I mean, seriously, you know it's bad when the temperature and the humidity are the same number and they're both over 90. But you know what else is bad? Corrosion. And that's what we're really here about. So we're gonna check in with Deck Department, the Navy's front line against corrosion, to see how they handle this upwards of $3 billion a year problem. Let's go. I asked around the ship, and I learned that to battle corrosion, they armed themselves with needle guns. What exactly is needle gunning?
So needle gunning is actually the tool that you use, but the whole purpose behind it is to remove rust and any kind of like verdigris, barnacles, anything that you need to remove off of the surface that you're actually preserving, get it ready for painting, priming, any kind of aspect of it.
How often are you and your team out here needle gunning?
Every day. And then when it's raining or foul weather, we go inside. It's an ongoing battle with all spaces, topside or internal.
Do you know anything about quantum? Quantum mechanics?
Nope.
Quantum physics, nothing?
No.
What if I told you that our understanding of corrosion could depend on quantum technology, and that the Navy is actively looking into understanding quantum information systems, might be able to actually help with the corrosion issue and have you guys spending less time out here needle gunning?
That would be a huge plus for any kind of ship.
Right on. So what's the process? What's like step by step?
If you would like to try the needle gun, I have some for you.
All right.
Give it a shot.
Let's do it. Okay, so turns out I'm awesome at needle gunning. It also turns out it's exhausting. The idea that quantum technologies can make the lives of service members and civilians easier and safer is a promising one that deserves our attention. The U.S. Naval Research Laboratory has been a key player in quantum information systems for more than 30 years, and they have no plans to stop here. These dedicated scientists and researchers will continue to question what is and what could be. So whether it's in 5 years or in 50 years, the men and women at NRL will continue to push the science of the conceivable and build the impossible tomorrow. Thanks for watching.